Team PNW, this is Travis checking in with you. Unfortunately, I'm without Micah today. I'm also without his microphone, so that explains the poor audio quality and maybe some of that ambient noise that the microphone's picking up. Aside from that, I did want to touch base with you guys and just really give you an idea of what this whole video is about. Obviously, the lifting is lifting. You're going to know what that is and what the movements are. However, I did want to focus more on the people that make up PNW Strength and Fitness. With that being said, I'm sure you're well aware the man in the frame is Micah. He's been my training partner for a little bit over a year now, and he was the one that really showed me the finer side of powerlifting. Obviously, form for squats, deadlifts, and bench all stay relatively the same. But there's always small tweaks and different tricks of the trade that will improve your numbers, your efficiency, and your ability to perform on the platform. And at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. And aside from the bromance that Micah and I have, I'll start to tell you a little bit more about myself. I've been here in the Pacific Northwest since I was about 8 or 9 years old, so I've been here for 11, 12 years. A majority of my life has been spent up here in the Northwest, and I've got to say I've grown to love it. As for my athletic background, I spent a majority of my childhood playing sports, much like a lot of kids do. However, I really grew to love basketball, and that's where my weightlifting background also comes into play. The majority of my basketball career looking like the typical basketball player. And personally, it's not a very attractive look. You're very thin, you're wiry, but you're pretty athletic in most cases. And that all changed around my sophomore year in high school when my basketball coach told us, he said, listen, your ability to perform in the weight room has tremendous carryover to your performance on the court. And at the time, that was my main concern. Weightlifting wasn't my focus. It was being better at basketball. As they say, if you want to get better at something, you do that thing. It is how the world works. It's how we operate. So if you want to be a better deadlifter, you have to deadlift more. If you want to be a better free throw shooter, you have to shoot free throws more. You have to really develop that muscle memory, and you have to teach your body how to do the movement. It's really that simple. But to make a long story short, I decided to start lifting weights and taking it serious to do two things. I wanted to change the physical appearance that my body had, but I also wanted to be a bigger, faster, better basketball player. So with that in mind, when basketball stopped being a part of my life, my focus and my priorities changed as well. And I really began to focus a lot on weightlifting and being a better weightlifter. Initially, I started doing bodybuilding because that was really what captivated me the most. It was changing your physical appearance every day and doing the things that were necessary to do so. However, the downside to bodybuilding is that it is not very measurable. It's very hard to notice improvement. Obviously, if you gain 40 pounds and someone hasn't seen you in a year, you're going to look a lot different. However, from day to day or week to week, it's very hard to notice a change in your physical appearance. Oh, did my shoulder get bigger, or is it just angled towards the light better? There's a lot of variables that go into it, and that's really what brought me to powerlifting. It's very black and white. Did you get the weight up, or did you fail the repetition? It really is that easy to notice whether or not you're improving. But now that we're at how I got to powerlifting and why I continue to do it, I want to share with you guys some of my goals for the future me, for my current age group and my current weight class. As it is right now, I weigh 215 pounds, and that puts me in the 231 weight division. Ideally, I'd like to see myself compete in the 205 weight class because I feel like I'd be a lot stronger in that category opposed to 231. On top of the 205 weight class, I also compete in the juniors division for the USAPL. And with that in mind, juniors goes from the age of 20 years old to the age of 23 years old. So I still have 2 years left to compete at 205 as a junior and potentially set a couple records. As of right now, the current records for 205 are as follows: squat 512 pounds, bench press 341 pounds, and the deadlift at 578 pounds. And the good news to go with that is that my numbers aren't far from that. My current squat, 440 pounds, my current bench press, 305 pounds, and my current deadlift is 518 pounds. So between the 3 lifts, I'm looking to add close to 150 pounds, and in my opinion, that's very feasible given the fact that I have 2 years to improve technique, 2 years to get stronger, and 2 years to get a little bit bigger. The only problem I see is the weight class itself. I stand at 6 foot 3 inches, so my bones are a little bit bigger, they're a little bit heavier, and I can't make those weigh less. The only thing I can manipulate is my body composition, and that's going to be a combination of 2 things. One, it's going to be fat loss and muscle maintenance, and being able to maintain the muscle mass and the muscle strength that I have at this current body weight. With that being said, I've got really high hopes and a positive outlook for what I'll be able to do here in the near future, as well as at the state level. But on top of that, I'll also be competing at the USAPL Junior Raw Nationals October 15th through the 18th this year. And that's just going to be a really good time for me to do a couple different things. One, perform at my best, have a great time, and on top of that, meet a lot of people that share the same interests that I do, and be able to network at a national level and get my own name out there, as well as Pacific Northwest Strength and Fitness. So I'll let the video roll. I appreciate the time. Thank you guys for watching the video. Sorry that it got a little long there. I had a lot to cover, but remember to do a couple different things. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. But as always, guys, until next time, thanks for tuning in. Travis signing out.
Trying to get that depth in there. If you ever need motivation, remember, Luke squatted 475 high bar.